Morning all. Just an update on the old variator. I couldn't show you how to take it off last week. I got the bike outside and it started hammering down as soon as I started getting my stuff together, so I had to bring it indoors. Just not room in my garage with the other bikes to actually film it to show you what was what. Took it off, give it a quick wash with just warm soapy water really, get rid of the rubbery deposits off the belt. A few things that I did notice. All I did was clean it up, put it back together, and I've run it again. We're up to 19,000 and 200 mile I think on this scooter at the moment. I took it off again today just to recheck it, and I thought I'd post a video of what I found. There's a little modification I'm going to do to my variator, even though I think it's close to being at its limit, but I'll explain that. Another quick thing, the impact drive that I bought last month, fantastic bit of kit. It whipped it off no problem, and it tightened it all back up without me using any other bars or variator locking tools, so I'm impressed with that. I also thought it come with two sockets, these two, they're actually full, so it'll cover most things you want to do. You've got a 21mm and a 23, a 19mm and a 17mm, and it just plugs into the cigarette lighter and work to treat that I've fitted on the back of, under the seat on the back of the board. So I took the cover off. I've actually measured my belts with a piece of string. It's the best way I can measure the outside diameter. There's very little difference in the new belt, both the new belts and the old belt. The thicknesses, or the width, you can actually see the wear. I've measured them, and we're down to, like, I think we've lost 2mm across the belts. I'll just turn the camera around. I mean, the one in the middle is the original belt, and I've got the Kevlar one and the standard one, the cheaper one. You can also see the wear on the teeth, they're flattening out slightly. This is the old belt compared to the new one. The profile of the tooth difference on the Aramid belt, which I'm assuming is this one with the blue ring. It's quite stiffer belt. The teeth on it are flat, whereas the original belt, they are slightly radiused, as are the Lexmoto belt. There's very little difference in the outside diameter of them all. I think my old belt has actually stretched by about 5mm. The profile's slightly different, but on the original belt you can actually see, I don't know if it shows up on the camera, there's actually like a beveled edge wearing, and it's tapering slightly. I've measured it, and it's lost about 3mm overall on its top width there, and the bottom width where the teeth are, it's probably 4mm shorter than it was. So again, there's no fraying or splitting or cracks, so I'll be putting that back on. Now my variators, this is the new one I bought, came complete, both sides, top, 6 rollers which I've measured, weighed 13 grams. The one thing I've noticed with this one, being a new one, it actually fits and slides quite well on its bushings, these rubber. I think they're more to do with stop it rattling, but they're a nice easy fit, so the rollers should move in and out as you want. This is the original one off the bike. It doesn't move as freely as that one. You can actually pick it up. That's supposed to be a nice slide fit, I'm guessing, and it isn't. So it's actually forcing the motor to do more work to push the rollers out. So it could be a reason why I think the bike felt underpowered. So if I take one of these rubbers out and we just try it, you can just feel it rubbing on the metal. It's not as free as this one here. So what I should be doing there, I'm going to actually grind a piece off both sides of these stems, and then put it back together on the sides there, just to make that a little bit more free flowing. If I take the bushes out, and I mean, obviously there's no bushes in this one, just to make it flow a bit better on them pivots, the three of them. And then I'm going to put it all back together, same parts. I'm not putting no new parts in this. I want to see if it improves over what it was before by using like for like. The other wear I've noticed is on the variator belts here, and I can actually feel a discerning groove at the top here. You'd expect your variator to wear where your belt's running. I mean, this bike is doing most of its life at 9,000 RPM, 1,900 mile. I would say 1,700 of that has been virtually flat out. Again, if you're just running town riding, 30-40 mile an hour, 5,000 RPM, you'd probably have a wear line sort of in the middle there, but you'd still get the wear. Obviously it's going to wear out. So I'm going to put that back on just because I want to do a like for like comparison, and I don't think it's past its life yet. The other wear, which I think is related to the slider not moving fully, okay, we'll pick that up later. You can actually see little flats appearing on these rollers. Can you see that? I'm not sure it's showing up. So you've got the little wear line there, and then there. It's as if these rollers aren't rolling, they're actually being pushed or slid. And I think that's a consequence of that outer bush not floating on them rubbers. So I'm just going to wash them really. Make sure there's no rubber in them to stop them. I'm washing both parts, and then I'm going to put them back together. Take it for a spin and see what happens. So I think that's all for now. I'll do a quick video sort of explaining what's what. So thank you.